The things I do for content. I'm making a video today because I threw out my neck. I don't even know what that means, threw out your neck, but it feels unstable. And I know that this is a huge problem with so many people. We make these little small jolts and movements in our body and it can throw us off for days. So this is something that's happened to me a couple times, and I always kind of make my area, my space, so that I can kind of come to a place where I could heal and feel what's going on in my body. A lot of times the area that is affected is very much that surface symptom. And so what I like to do is kind of breathe, use my tools and use my breath and my understanding of the body to kind of guide my awareness of the kind of root cause. And so what I like to do, what I'm here to do with you, is take a little toke. Oh, it went out. A little medicine, if you will. Find my mat and find some of my tools. Some of my tools include one of my favorite joints, of course. Always make sure you put it out. And notice that I just took, one or two hits, kind of not smoking the whole joint, being conscious of how those couple of hits are affecting me into my body. But more on that later. One of my tools is a blanket. You can use a towel, blanket from your bed, massage ball. You can use tennis balls, lacrosse ball. The golf ball is super poignant, so if you're into that kind of pressure, go for it, but definitely be safe. So getting something like this is going to be great. Block is really amazing to give. Those are the three main components that we are going to be using today. I also do have my handy dandy Theracane. I really love this thing to get into some of those areas, but you have to be so activated with your arms that I'm not going to be using this today. Another thing that you can do if you don't have any of these tools, so before I go into that, I want to explain something that you can do. If you have a book or a binder, you can grab that and put this edge of the book onto the edge of your occipital. So right where your neck meets your scalp, as you kind of drag down from your scalp, you're going to find that little ridge, and that goes all the way kind of behind your ear. So into that area is a lot of the reason that we start to feel that tightness, that tension, and that nervy pain. A lot of time, a lot of those muscles are kind of pulling down in that area. So to release it, put the book on the floor and find your neck and the book meet. Let them meet. Especially if you're going through a neck injury or tightness, definitely feel your support as you go down. Take it slow. And you just turn your head from side to side to kind of feel that ridge and feel those sensations that kind of arise. You can definitely pause the video here and just let yourself feel those sensations so that we can go on. So that's just something if you don't have any of these tools that I wanted to mention. So to get a little blood into the area that we're going to work, we're just going to do a couple little movements with our shoulders and into our arms. So bring your arms out, really straighten them. Bring the palms of your hands to both sides of the room. Really push your walls away. Really feel that activation into your arms and feel that straightness, that openness into your chest, and try to find your alignment into your shoulders. Think about your scapulas coming together, but reaching your hands out. Now we're just going to take a circle with our scapula, drawing it up and down our back, our rib cage. Try to not move your head or your body. Really just focus into your shoulders. As you can see, we kind of like going forward to maybe block or guard. So notice these small movements. Start to feel that spiciness in your shoulders. Go forward now. Now, if you're really not feeling anything, go slower and really get to all four corners. All the way back and then all the way up. All the way forward and all the way down. See how you can get to the edge of each area. Now slowly bring your hands up. Taking it slow, feeling that spiciness. Bringing your hands together and push them into one another. Drop your chin, drop your shoulders away from your ears, but continue to push your hands together. Using your breath, pushing, and we're feeling that spiciness. Dropping your shoulders away still, using your breath. And slowly drop that right arm and give yourself a little side body stretch. Not even needing to go very far, just feeling that openness. See if you can reach up towards the sky a little bit more. Feeling the strength of your neck as you hold your head up high. Maybe reach a little bit more over to the side before you inhale your arm all the way down as you follow your right arm on up. Bring it to the side. Notice how you can bring your shoulder down away from your ears and push your hand into the ground. We're taking slight movements here. Using your breath, going a little bit more over to the side. And slowly bringing it back all the way down. Now we're just going to assess our neck here and see where our movement lies from side to side. So bring your chin to your chest and notice the forwardness. How much you can go forward without creating any pain or unevenness. Take a breath here. Bring your head on up and let it fall back, noticing where your chin can lie on the ceiling. Seeing where you can go. Again today, the reason I'm doing this video is because I fucked up my neck. So I'm noticing a tightness, a holding, a guarding as I lift my chin up towards the ceiling. Your body is kind of signal saying, yo, injury here. Slowly bring it back up and just notice where you're at. The time it takes to bring you back to the middle. Now we're going to go right to left. Slowly bring your ear to your shoulder. Ooh, drop it down. Again, if you're watching this because you have a neck issue, really notice the tightnesses and the weak feelings that you're sensing. Let that be the guide for when we kind of put pressure in these areas to what's really going on. Slowly bring it up to the middle. Over to the other side. Notice the difference from this side. Definitely a lot further on this side. So there's something happening here, which I already know because it hurts. Try to just let go using your breath. Slowly come back up into the middle. And then we're going to use the ball. I'm really excited about this because I think this is gonna work. I'm gonna heal myself, gosh darn it. You can do this standing. You can do this on the floor. You can sit on the floor and do it into the wall. So let me just show you. So I can sit on all my displays. You can bring the ball into your back and just find any area that you're finding tension. Using your breath and filling up into that area and then letting go, letting those shifts happen are really important. We're really letting those proprioception communication happen into the muscles. Kind of breaking down those groups of sarcomeres within the muscle fibers that have kind of gotten tight and don't want to let go of their ways. So you can stay here, use your breath, let it guide you. You can move from side to side and rub over an area that's bugging you. Always make sure that as you're doing one side, do it to the other side, because the other side of that pain can actually tell you a bigger story if you listen closely. So again, you can do this seated, and you can find a lot. You can roll up and down as you do your cat-cows, really allowing yourself to kind of follow muscle fibers. And as you do that, maybe finding a trigger point where a referral pattern kind of comes up, kind of arises into the body. So I'm particularly in my traps. I wish I had a video or another camera guy. So it's just in my traps, in between my scapula and my spine, and in between some of those muscle fibers that lie. There's so many layers. So there's a trigger point in there that specifically works into the trap and right into the edge of the occipital, right where that mastoid process happens. So there's two referral patterns that's a normal trigger point. So that's what I'm trying to find. I'm getting to an area to where I can feel those sensations, breathing into them, feeling the intensity, and then exhaling and letting them release. So great time for you to pause this video and keep doing that. I'm gonna go to the next spot because I feel like it's super important. Again, you can do this standing. The video won't let me stand. Anyway, you can bring your arm that's facing the wall around you, and all you're going to do is put it in an area that's under the armpit, in the armpit, on the scapula, next to the scapula, really any of this area that hits the deltoid, some of those teres major and minor muscles. All of that area is so tight and so tense that it really deserves a good amount of attention. Oh, you gotta kind of find it. You're definitely welcome to move your arm and feel how that feels within the pressure point. But I ask you to definitely breathe into it, finding one spot, seeing if you can't relax into it. Think about dropping your shoulders, tucking into your chin, and finding some sort of alignment, even though you're kind of twisted up and putting pressure into the side. So see where that goes, see what that unlocks. A lot of times it's going to open up into the shoulder, maybe some of that deltoid. Oh, feels delicious. Again, this is a great time for you to pause and continue on with that, because I'm going to go to that same position but lying down. So you can do this so that you're really relaxed and not having to push into the wall and activate some of your body. So putting the ball onto the ground. If you have any neck issue, if you're watching this because you have some neck issue today, make sure you are so supportive of your movements, Maybe even bringing your hand on your head as you lower down, so you're not affecting anything too much, or activating something into your pain. So bringing your hand on your head. Again, if you can see that, the ball is into that lat. Some of that subscapularis, some of those teres, some of that, again, latissimus dorsi, some of the trap as well. So it's getting a whole bunch of those major surface muscles, and I want you to just breathe into it. See if you can't relax your shoulder. See if you can't drop your head into your hand a little bit more. See if you can't find your balance and relax into your body. And the next time you inhale, expand into your rib cage. And bring it back down, letting almost more pressure get into that ball, letting yourself kind of fall over whatever protrusion you have, whatever tool you have to create that pressure. I could stay here all day, straight up, all day. Good time to pause the video, because we're gonna go on to the next way. You can do the same thing, but with a different tool. Slowly, slowly, slowly take yourself on up. Taking your time. My neck is feeling a little bit looser. It's feeling a little bit more open. So you can do the same thing with a block. This is another great way. Again, be supportive with your movements. Know where you're going. Find an area that you are enjoying. Okay. Oh, that was easy. Is really no right answer. I'm not gonna be like, that's not the right spot. Feel into where you are. Again, feel those sensations that arise in the rest of the body. Feel in particularly where you're pressing. Notice if you can't adjust it to get more intensity, that good intensity that really feels like you're doing good work and things are opening and getting new blood, getting new oxygen. Because as we stay here, that's what you're doing. Delicious. As you come back up, go ahead and come on up nice and slow. You can just roll over, and since you're already using the block, go ahead and use the block again to get into that ridge of your occiput. Again, I'm really sensitive today, so I'm taking my time and getting there, knowing what I need to do. Oh, there we go. And getting some nice curve into that cervical spine. And if you tilt your head from side to side, you can get that ridge into the ridge of your neck. Bringing your knees to bend can give you a little bit of pressure into your hips to guide a little bit more pressure into your neck. So you drop them down, it's going to give it a little bit more traction. And you can definitely do this, getting into the ridge with that ball. Again, taking your time. Ooh! Ooh. Using that block, or moving that block up, and then go ahead and using that myofascial ball. Get into that middle area between those, what feel like ropes a lot of the times with people. Just see if you can't find any tension areas that you want to explore by remaining and using your breath. Taking your time and finding some areas, again, going to both sides and noticing how one side is going to have to be tight if this side is weak. I'm specifically talking about my injury today. Again, I feel like I just threw it out. So the other side is going to have to compensate. And as you use that pressure all the way down, you can really see how, we use that block as a pillow. It's another great way. Block under the head, ball under wherever you need it. And so you're not like pushing all of your neck weight, which is your head is a good amount of weight. So into this area. We'll do it on this side. This is all about putting that pressure into the muscle, making that muscle have to change its ways a little bit, moving those muscle fibers that are tight as they acclimate to that pressure that you're putting in. So the more pressure you use, again, please go nice and slow, always knowing that you can build on it. You don't have to go hardcore all at once. If you're into that area and you want to feel the rest of the body kind of acclimate, let your knees go to bend. Bend your knees. And just let them sway to side to side. Because what's going to happen is that your body is having to acclimate to the movement. And it's going to affect whatever you're pressing. Slightly. Softly. Slowly. Again, this is a great time to pause the video again, because we're going to do the very last thing that's going to be nice and lovely with no movement. So again, do that on both sides. Please take your time. Oh, yeah. So tight. Again, feeling like there's some new blood, new oxygen. Every time you're kind of in that area, making sure you're focused with your breath. Now, get your blanket. And what we're going to do is basically make a little cradle around our head onto the floor. I guess that doesn't really describe it by putting it right there. So what you're going to do, put it under your neck, and as you lie down, support your head. Support your head, taking yourself down. And you're gonna kind of give yourself a little traction, grabbing both sides of the blanket and lifting up. Kind of covering your ears and making it slight. Slowly drop it down and go ahead and just make it so where it's a crown over your head. Kind of tucking in, getting it right under the occiput. Kind of bending your knees so that you can drop your hips down a little bit more. Again, make it nice and tight if you can. Feeling where you're super supported into the head. Now you can go ahead and let your knees go down and allow yourself to feel the traction from the blanket into your neck. And it's very slight. Really let go of your legs, let go of your arms. And just feel how that traction affects the rest of your body. Breathe in and expand into your rib cage, into your stomach. Exhale, letting everything come back on in. Kind of continuing that focus on just the breath. And so our focus today was neck and getting some of that shoulder girdle to let go so that the neck can move freely. And so I want to kind of give our focus to the area where our scalp meets our spine. And realize that there's a long tube of communication up and down. And it's communicated and heightened by using our breath, focusing into our breath. So let's breathe in, starting from our pelvis. Breathe in and feel that breath all the way up to our brain. Using that breath, filling up into your pelvis, stomach, rib cage, shoulders, neck, ears, and brain. And then all the way back down your neck, through your spinal cord, all the way back down into your torso and your torso and your sacrum. Again, breathing up and down the spine, creating a balanced wave, fluid-like movement to reset, to replenish, to realign, to find length. Every time we feel that movement through our spine, all the way up to our head, little adjustments down your vertebrae have to be made for that communication to happen. Again, you can stay here 5 minutes and really allowing yourself just to feel that slight movement with every breath. Once you've felt like enough traction has happened, definitely on your own time, with really focusing into the breath and visualizing the effects up and down your body will kind of take on that sense of wave that we really need in the body. Our blood flow mimics this flow, our breath mimics this flow, our digestive system mimics this flow. So tapping into this flow is really beneficial for things aligning, restoring, and getting better communication. So once you've really felt like you've tapped into that, make sure you take your time and rolling over. I like to bring my hands over my head so that whichever side I roll onto, my arm is there to catch me. As I bring that top arm around, letting it hit the ground so that I can have support getting up after taking some time, some slow, nice deep breaths and some focus. I hope that some of these tips helped. I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, I hope you have a good day.